The power outage began on Sunday evening, according to the city. But thankfully, the power was restored to a seniors building on the Hamilton Mountain overnight.
Well, people living there say the ordeal caused significant hardships for them, despite the city's efforts to minimize the inconvenience. And that has a couple people speaking out tonight. Matt Ingram joins us on the latest from the building right at Upper Gage. Matt?
Phil, the city turned the power off completely on Monday afternoon, saying that the wires to the electrical panel were overheating and it was causing a significant risk of fire. Now, it took until 1 a.m. last night to get the problem sorted out. And for at least one senior who lives here, that means she had to throw out nearly $1,000 worth of food.
That's what I got left. Freezies.
65-year-old Brenda Chase's freezer is almost empty, but it wasn't that way before the power outage. Concerned her food had spoiled, she threw out meat, pizzas, bread, eggs, and other frozen food items purchased with several government rebates she had just received.
I bought them when they were on sale, and because of the prices of food now, I got deals on those, but it broke my heart to have to throw them away, but I didn't want to take the chance to get sick.
The lack of air conditioning and lighting was a difficult experience for her, made worse by the fact that she relies on a CPAP machine due to her sleep apnea. Outlets in the building's hallways still worked, so CityHousing Hamilton staff used an extension cord to keep the machine working. But Brenda was concerned the power would go out for those outlets too.
Once the machine stops, I start choking because no air is going in. It is scary.
She was forced to keep her insulin at a friend's place because insulin needs to be refrigerated. She says the building has had power problems before. The power outage didn't affect the entire building. The city says it was confined to about 120 units, and Brenda explains that those units are all on one side of the building. 76-year-old June Arthur's unit also lost power.
It was just a nightmare. Like everybody, I had to throw out some things out of the fridge.
It happened to Peter Llewellyn, too.
There was nothing to do, so we had to spend all our time out here.
Close to 3 days worth of anxiety and stress for over 220 seniors.
The building at 801 Upper Gage lies in City Councillor Tom Jackson's ward. He says 10 years ago, the city spent about $5 million for major renovations.
What's disturbing me is since then, on and off, and more often than I would like, this reoccurring electrical mechanical breakdown.
Jackson says he is asking CityHousing Hamilton to provide a full briefing to explain what happened and how to permanently fix the problem.
Something's amiss, and I'm going to get to the bottom of it with staff.
That debrief is going to be one that we'll all pay close attention to as a CityHousing Hamilton board.
Councillor Jason FARR is the president of the CityHousing Hamilton board, and he says staff and contractors work to fix the problem as quick as possible.
There was a lot of staff working, not only from CityHousing Hamilton, but the contractors were good enough to appreciate that we're dealing with a vulnerable population.
As for Brenda's significant food loss, Councillor Jackson says he can't make any promises, but he's going to see what he can do for her. Now, the city gave $50 grocery cards to all the residents affected, as well as provided meals 2 days earlier this week while the outage was on. They also kept a lounge open inside the building with air conditioning, so anyone who needed to could use it.